Welcome to the show. I'm really excited to talk to you. We have some new music that you dropped, and you're going to drop in December and stuff. So I just want to recap. We just played "Tonight Is the Night," and that was like your first big breakout, you would say?
That was my first and really my biggest song. But yes, sure was.
How was that like? Breaking into that mold for the first time. Did you expect for it to reach that level?
No, definitely not. I had been working for a few years, putting out a bunch of music, trying to build fan base online, touring, kind of just grinding it out, and got signed and spent a year on Warner Brothers before really putting anything out. And I made that song probably 6 months before it came out, and I didn't even know if it was going to be anything. It was just another song I'd made. I was making a lot of songs at the time, and then it ended up being a part of this huge Pepsi campaign when X Factor was a talent show still on air. It was actually when X Factor was just starting, and so then I was on tour and found out and just changed the whole trajectory of the song, and then we just rode with it, and then it just became like a radio song, and just was a wild time.
Yeah, it caught fire real quick. I think I was in high school when it came out, and it was literally everywhere. I heard it in Hollister. I heard it people had it as ringtones, and I saw on the VH1, or they did the countdown stuff. It caught really big, and I think you mentioned it was on the Super Bowl commercial or something like that.
I don't know about the Super Bowl, but Pepsi.
Oh, Pepsi. Okay.
It was a Pepsi commercial, yeah.
That's awesome. And since then, you after that show, you released Nights Like These. That was a banger. Yeah. You had Tonight Is the Night, I'll Drink to That, Now or Never, and whatever. And since then, you've released 3 more albums, and you've been just pumping out music. Big Trouble, Richie, Future, Vintage Soul, and then you have a new EP on the way. So are you just always creating? How does that work? Do you know when you want to release an album, or it's just create?
So after the first album, I spent a couple of years touring, and then I was dropped off of Warner, so I had to start putting out music independently, and just started putting out records. And for me, it's just really fun. I have complete creative freedom and just the ability to put out music whenever. So I just love making music, and each record's had its own little thing. Big Trouble was my second album that came out 3 years after Nights Like These, which was probably too long of a wait, but it was just, I moved from New York to LA, and it was just a bit of a process. But then that record had some songs on there that did really well, so I was able to kind of work that for a while. And then last few records has been just dropping them each year now. I feel like the way streaming and people consume music, it's super important to just keep putting out music. And then this year, just a few months ago, I started a record label with my buddy, Cook Classics, who's produced Tonight's Night. He's produced The Wildlife, Do Something Crazy. So we've been working together for a decade, and we started a record label called 83 Sound. So this project I'm putting out in December will actually be the label's first release, and then we'll kind of go from there. So yeah, super exciting.
Yeah, you mentioned the way music is shifting now. Yeah, people, audiences, they just crave music nonstop. So Richie was, I believe, 2017. Then last year, Future, Vintage Soul, and now you're gonna have an EP. So do you pay attention to that, how the audience receives music and all of that, and consumption?
Yeah, I just feel I don't know. I've always put out music all the time. I think the first album and the second album was probably the longest I ever went, but before that I was always putting out music. I'm very much a studio guy. I'm in the studio every day, so it's pretty natural for me to just get music out. Like, I have an EP coming in December, and like,
No vacancy.
I definitely have enough material for another EP to follow it. So, yeah, but it's cool now. Like with Spotify, like you can kind of just drop a song, put out a little project, just kind of move with it. It's easy, and you know, you never know what can happen. I mean, I've had songs, you know, that were they take time. Everything takes time, so you kind of just, the only way for anything to even happen is to get it out there, and then each song kind of just has its own life. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah,
right.
You gotta put it out there though, otherwise it never gets that chance.
Right. Now, you mentioned 83 Sound. What was the process of bringing that together, your own record label? So was it shortly after being dropped from Warner, or how
No. So I was dropped from Warner in like probably like 2013. And there was just the guy who signed me got fired, and so pretty much they clean house with it. Which I wasn't mad at, really. I didn't care. But so the last few records I did with my old management, and basically I had gone to a point in my career where, like, I really know what I want to do, how I want to do it, and I also want to help other artists. So I pretty much am now on my own, and then the person I work, my last record, Future Vintage Soul, he produced 9 out of the 10 tracks, and I don't know, I've been working with Cook for 10 years. Like I said, like, we were making mixtape tracks together 10 years ago. I was sleeping on his couch. We're still good friends. So we had talked a lot about it, and we were just like, let's do it. Let's start a label. We have some really awesome, talented friends and younger artists that we believe in, that we're helping them with get their records together right now. Like, you know, so it's really just getting off the ground, but we're super excited. I mean, I just put out a song last week called Fire It Up.
Right.
And it's going to be in Playing with Fire with John Cena next week, which comes out next week.
Breaking.
So it's really exciting. Yeah. And awesome. You know, so like we're just chipping away and see how it goes. But it's really fun to work with your friends and build something, and you know, we've kind of, you know, this feels like it's just like a natural step.
That's awesome, and I'm excited for like your new stuff coming up. I'm gonna throw it on to my co-host, my buddy Tish. I think she has some stuff for you as well.
Yeah. Hello. Hi. Are you able to hear me?
I hear you fine.
How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. My name is Maya, and I just have a few questions. Hey, so first I want to ask, this is a weird question, but I'm weird, so don't mind me.
All good.
When is your birthday?
February 17th.
That is
Aquarius.
That is my birthday, so I'm also an Aquarius. And I went to your
birthday with Michael Jordan.
Exactly, in Paris Hilton. I just wanted to mention that before. Your dad too?
My dad and I are born on the same day.
Oh, we are awesome. Let me tell you that.
Billy Joe Armstrong too, from Green Day.
Get out of here! Oh, yeah. I am so excited. Every time I see someone with my birthday, I'm like, I have to let them know. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's awesome. We're great. So I wanted to just put that out there before I even start asking you questions.
Aquarius on the Pisces cusp.
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly. We're like we're more Aquarius, but we have a little bit of Pisces. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So nice. I wanted to kind of ask you more about your influences. Sure. I heard that you said that you're trying to help younger people, and that's awesome. So who did anyone help you, and who kind of inspired you when you were first starting off?
That's a good question. I like that. Wow. Yeah, you know, I came out of New York, and so where I came out of was like pretty much the scene in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of talented artists who came out of there. You probably heard of some of them, but we all used to perform on like Sunday nights in this like open mic situation. Mm-hmm. And that in itself was like this crazy competitive like, gotta get better every time kind of thing that really changed me from being, like, just a kid wanting to get at, like, be a musician to, like, I'm gonna be one. Like, it just raised the stakes. So I feel like that kind of, like, breeding ground there was so just, you know, really a big integral part of how I even became, like, a recording artist. And then, you know, like, even beyond, like, the influences, working with my homies Six and Cook, who were young producers, we would just grind and grind and grind and just work and work and work. And they felt the same way as I did, just like every day, get in the studio trying to make it better. You know, I think I just wouldn't be able to do anything that I've done without them. So, you know, like, beyond, like, you know, obviously influenced by all the classics. I mean, ranging from anything to everything. You know what I mean? Those people, you know, on the ground floor were super, super helpful.
No, that's awesome. That's a great story because it kind of starts there. You have to have a team around you. And I stress that all the time. It's all about who's around you. And if they're motivating you, you're motivating them. That's kind of what you set out to do. And I love that. So, and like I said, being an Aquarius, I understand. We always want to help people. We're very approachable, very creative. That's a strong suit as well. And just from your music alone, I was telling my co-host John, I'm like, I can't even put him in a box. I was trying to compare you to someone so I can tell listeners, you know, who may not be so familiar, to kind of give them an idea of, you know, what you sound like. But you are amazing. You don't sound like anyone, and that's great, and I love it. Please keep making that music. We're excited. That's kind of of course. That's the main question I have for you. Are you still in LA?
I am. Yeah. I moved down here 5 years ago.
Awesome.
And I've been out here now 5 years. I'm an East Coast guy at heart.
Yeah, I love LA. I don't know if I could live there. I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
It's a great place to live. So
I heard.
I've enjoyed it. So I get back to New York fairly often.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, you got to still come to the East Coast. You have to. You miss it once you get away.
He has that banger. I'll drink to that. That's a New York.
That's a New York vibe. Yeah.
What's the best cheesesteak in Philly? What's your guys'?
Oh, you're gonna ask us the hard questions? Come on.
Is it Jim's? What do we got? What's the read?
He said Jim's.
I made at them all because I can't.
I like. It depends. Let's see what John says.
Between what?
The cheesesteaks.
I think that Pats and Geno's are way overrated.
Yes, we're going to start there. They're overrated.
I feel like the
Pats and Geno's are overrated. Yeah, it's very tourist
like in your locals.
Yeah. What were you saying, John? I'm sorry. He was just
like on your locals, like you would get.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're a local, we don't care for Geno's and Pat's that much. I mean,
like
I can see that
store,
for sure.
Or like, there's this place on South Street. I forgot what that's called.
Ishka Bibbles is a good one.
Yeah, that's probably.
I've had that. It was very good.
Yeah, so Ishka Bibbles is good. Also, is it D'Alessandro? Am I saying that right? D'Alessandro's, I believe so. That's like in the Northeast. It's a place in the Northeast. Max is also on Erie Avenue. It just depends on what you're looking for.
Those are two names I haven't had.
See, it just depends on what you're looking for. It just
Jim's
depends.
Was good.
Jim's is good, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the best ones.
And that was very good too.
What was that you had?
Ishka Bibbles.
Ishka Bibbles. Oh yeah. Awesome. On South Street for sure. Those two on South Street. You can't go wrong. If you want to, dibble outside of South Street, D'Alessandro's and Max's, there's a few other places, but those are some highlights that we love those places.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you back to John.
All right.
Thank you so much for answering my questions and talking to us. You're awesome. And Aquarius forever.
Let's go. 217.
Yes, 217. Thank you.
Right, so, of course.
Welcome back, or I'm back, I guess. Yeah, the way the headphones, are set up, we'll have to figure that out. I'm not sure we can fix that.
We just need another set.
Yeah, but thank you for being on the show. Our show is wrapping up, again, you're always down to earth, and I don't know if you remember, but I had a podcast like 6 years ago. I was 18 years old, and you were actually a guest on that show as well. You called in, and you were super chill, down to earth, and it was one of the biggest highlights of my podcasting career, and it got me into a lot of doors because of that. So I want to say thank you for always being down to earth and willing to do this, because I emailed you pretty late last night and you jumped on it, and it's cool that you haven't changed a bit. Like you're just down to earth. That I don't know if it's that East Coast swag, but thank you so much.
Yeah, I thank you guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, honestly, I've always, I've just been in the game a long time, and some people. I just feel like being cool and kind is the way to be. I don't know. Just good vibes, man. I sing it. I mean it a little bit. I'm trying to just, put out them good vibes. So it's no problem here. Thanks for taking the time to have me on the show.
Yeah, no problem. Guys, Outasight, he has a new single, Fire It Up, and he just told us it's going to be in the new film Playing with Fire with John Cena. So you might want to take a listen right now. It's on Spotify. Go stream it on Apple Music and download it. Like buy the track as well. And new EP, No Vacancy, December 13th this year.
That's right.
Thank you.
So, thank you guys as always. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one. Thank you.
You too. Peace.
Wasn't that a treat?
That was awesome. Like we have technical difficulties, just like anybody else.
We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah.
So we have guests. We're just gonna need the headphones.
Exactly. I need my It's me probably. I don't have my headphones with me, so it's cool.
Yeah, and I just think that he's super dope. So like, I was fangirling a little bit. I did choke up a little bit because I did listen to his music a lot, and he is one of those down to earth people that you wouldn't expect. Like, he has clout, but you wouldn't expect him to just say, respond so quickly, like literally within like a 20-minute span.
That's awesome.
Yep, I'll do there. Email him. Yep, I'm calling in. Like, he's really that cool. So guys, please, if you can, just take a listen to his music. I'm gonna see if we have another song for him on here.
Yeah. As soon as I went to his Twitter, like I said, I saw that he was an Aquarius, and I'm like, this is going to be a good interview. So when you sent me that text last night, I wasn't worried about it. I'm like, we can definitely talk to him. He's not going to bell or act weird or... Well, weird is good.
Was this your first interview?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, I believe that was my first one.
Wow, how was it?
It was cool. It's a little nerve-wracking because you got to kind of keep up with it and ask questions and, But he was cool. He made it easy. I'm glad he was my first because now I kind of, anybody else, hopefully it's smooth like that. We can talk about different things, and he was cool. So, yeah, I like it.
When you meet every day, summertime, and no question, I'm doing fine. Look, have you people go and call mine? I check my schedule, I got no plans to unwind. And I'm glad you made it. No cap like I graduated. Infatuated with how far I'll take it in my robot voice.
Muscle mode activated.
I don't know what you've been told, but I ain't taking it easy. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be fun, believe me. But every day you get to celebrate, but I don't need a reason. Start me up, let me catch a wave. I'ma tell you how I'm feeling. And get louder now. Get louder now. Come on, don't slow it down. Y'all know what this is all about. I wanna fire it up. You know what I came to do. I wanna fire it up. You know what I came to do. And there's no discussion, I'm the dude in a robe drinking White Russians. My bar top shelf, my car all stealth. I preach good health, good wealth. If it's too loud, you're too old. Numero uno, boss like Hugo. My checks come sumo. Y'all can't do it like I do.
Sir, this is a drive-thru.
I don't know what you've been told, but I ain't taking it easy. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be fun, believe me. But every day you get to celebrate, but I don't need a reason. Start me up, let me catch a wave. I'ma tell you how I'm feeling. And get louder now. Get louder now. Come on, don't slow it down. Y'all know what this is all about. I wanna fire it up. I wanna fire it up. You know what I came to do? I wanna fire it up. You know what I came to do? I wanna fire it up.
All right, we are back. That is Outasiight's latest single.
Yeah.
And you can hear it on the new movie coming out with John Cena, Playing with Fire. So congrats, that's awesome.
That was really awesome. I really like that song.
Yeah. But that concludes today's show. It went so fast.
It